Could the most important move of Toronto's next title push already be waiting quietly a few hours down the QEW, stretching under cold Buffalo lights while the rest of the baseball world looks the other way? Because while headlines chase blockbuster contracts and splashy press conferences, something far more interesting has been unfolding in plain sight, and if you follow this club long enough, you know these are the moments that often matter most. I've watched the Toronto Blue Jays long enough to recognize the sound of organizational silence before a reveal. It's never loud, it's never theatrical. It's the low hum of a front office that already knows the answer while the rest of us are still asking the question. And right now, that hum is coming from AAA Buffalo, where Riley Tirotta has been playing the kind of baseball that forces uncomfortable conversations behind closed doors. The emotional context matters here. This is not a normal offseason for Toronto. Losing Bo Bichette to the New York Mets wasn't just a roster subtraction, it was a psychological one. Watching Isiah Kiner-Falefa drift across the rivalry line to the Boston Red Sox felt like the kind of paper cut that stings longer than it should. Championship teams can survive losses, but only if they anticipate them, and Toronto, quietly, did. I keep coming back to the 2025 run because it showed us something vital. Depth isn't a luxury in October, it's oxygen. The Jays didn't just win with stars, they won with solutions, with adaptability, with players who could step into chaos without blinking. And when that run ended, the front office didn't panic. They looked inward and asked a harder question. How do we stay flexible without paying free agent prices for role players who age poorly and clog payrolls? That's where Tirotta barges into the conversation, whether anyone was ready for him or not. At 27, he isn't a wide-eyed prospect anymore. He's a professional hitter who spent all of 2025 treating AAA pitching like an inconvenience. A Stan Barron MVP season doesn't happen by accident, and becoming the first Buffalo Bisons player to reach 100 hits last year wasn't luck. It was inevitability built on repetition. A .269 average across 114 games, 12 home runs, 60 RBIs, and a sneaky 13 stolen bases that made more than one catcher mutter under his breath. This wasn't a hot streak, this was control. What impressed me most, though, was August. That .324 month told me everything I needed to know. That's when legs are tired, scouting reports are thick, and pressure quietly creeps in. Tirotta didn't fade, he sharpened. 20 doubles on the season, 5 more than the year before despite fewer at-bats, screamed gap power built for the Rogers Center's geometry. You could almost hear the ball rattling around those alleys already. Now zoom out and look at the infield picture. Andres Gimenez brings elite stability. Ernie Clement is the kind of defender managers sleep better knowing exists. Kazuma Okamoto has settled into third base like he owns the deed. So where does Tirotta fit? Everywhere. And that's not a cliche, it's the job description. I still remember last September when Bichette's PCL injury forced Toronto into nightly infield gymnastics. You could feel the tension in every late-inning ground ball. That scramble is exactly what Tirotta prevents. First base, third base, both corner outfield spots, he's been there, done that, and looked comfortable doing it. Championship teams don't just plan for best-case scenarios, they plan for chaos. Offensively, he's not just a bat looking for singles to justify a roster spot. A 3.59 on-base percentage would have ranked near the top of Toronto's regulars last season, and that comes from genuine plate discipline growth, not passive luck. And yes, 12 home runs at Salem Field don't make headlines, but translate that left-handed swing to Rogers Center, and you're suddenly talking about 15 to 18 home run upside in a role that actually matters. So why hasn't he been called up yet? Because Toronto understands timing. Drafted in the 12th round in 2021, Tirotta is a development win, not a marketing one. Keeping him off the 40-man while he marinated in AAA wasn't neglect, it was patience. And now, with that protection window closing and spring training thinning the field, the internal hierarchy is clear. He's the only infielder who spent an entire year dominating that level. The rest are still auditioning. This reminds me irresistibly of Davis Schneider in 2024. Same late bloom, same professional calm, same feeling that when opportunity knocks, the door doesn't survive the impact. Tirotta doesn't need hype, he needs one opening, one twisted ankle, one long road trip that demands fresh legs, and suddenly he's not just depth, he's relevance. Spring training will tell us plenty, but the truth is already written. Whether he breaks camp with the big club or becomes the first call-up of 2026, Riley Tirotta has positioned himself exactly where smart organizations want their answers waiting. Quiet, ready, unmissable. So I'll leave you with this, Jays Nation. While other teams overpay for flexibility, Toronto may already own it. Is Tirotta the insurance policy that saves a season before we even realize it's needed? Let me know what you think, give this video a like if you enjoy this kind of deep dive, and make sure you're subscribed to the Blue Jays Report so you don't miss what's coming next. Because sometimes the most important stories aren't the loud ones, they're the patient ones.